Welcome to the Quick Bite Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Klinger. Today, I have a special guest, Allie Harrison. Allie, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing really well. I'm super excited to be on the podcast, so thank you so much for having me.
Everybody gets the same 10 questions. Let's knock them out. Question number one, what's the best piece of business advice you've ever received?
Man, I would say the best piece of business advice would be to be authentic. And what that means is to stay true to your vision and your mission. There's a lot of folks who get caught in the fundraising. I mean, I work in startups, so, there's a lot of startups who they get caught in fundraising and, really, just getting really hyped by the board and all this good stuff. But if you have a mission and you start a business on it, it's always good to not only align yourself with partners, investors who believe in that mission and who will help you grow, but also folks within the industry who are also working to solve the same issue and just going about it authentically. I don't know. Like for us, it's like we really value the hourly workforce experience. So for us, it's like every business decision that we make or every product update, or even for me personally, the people I reach out to, the people I connect to are folks who are like-minded. And when you surround yourself with that, people who are authentically like aligned, things just continue to happen for you. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I totally believe in authenticity. I think it's a key value. Tell me, what are the three top qualities that you believe every leader should have?
Oh man. Let me think for a second. Every The top three qualities. There's so many, I feel like. um, but I would say a servant's heart. So being able to lead with the motivation, like your motives are to help people. Um, to have empathy and to be honest, because I think honesty is always key. But those three together create that people first leader where, they're able to lead with their heart, but also like knowing that they're getting feedback from others. A good example is our CEO AJ and also my CRO Christian, where we're always sort of like just moving around. Always, it's not chaotic. It's more like it's just a lot of fun. But being able to be an individual contributor, to be able to give them feedback and know that they take it with like empathy, and they know that like I'm just trying to grow with them. Those are the kind of leaders that I always try to work for and also work with. Yeah.
Yeah. So on that same line, how does someone become a leader? The audience comes from a variety of perspectives, right? You have young folks just starting out, they're earlier in their journey. Maybe they're a frontline worker, or you have someone that's been in the workforce for a while, but they're looking for a career change, and maybe they want to step into that leadership role. I'm of the belief that everyone leads in some capacity. Whether it's a title or not is kind of irrelevant sometimes, I think. But from a career path and development into leadership, what's your perspective on how someone should, strive to become a leader?
um, Having a growth mindset, because the more that you take on opportunities to learn, and not only within but also in your personal life, the more people see you as a thought leader. So you get those doors opened for you without having to really push on them or force them open. And as I said before, like aligning yourself with like-minded people who are all trying to work towards a similar, you know ideal world state. Everyone's treated equitably, everyone has these opportunities to grow. It's like you're making these valid, genuine connections with folks who, they're they're talking to their friend who is the chief people officer of some brand. And that person's like, I'm trying to hire someone who's non-traditional to do this and this and this. And them having gotten to know you and knowing that you're taking things on for yourself to grow, and to learn, in all aspects of life. They're like, this person could be ideal. And that's the best way to get a job, because, it's a tough market, but I've seen it happen for so many people. Um, and for me, it's like, my time previously at Sprockets, the company I work for, gave me the ability to grow this platform and this personal brand on LinkedIn. And when I was looking for a new opportunity, AJ was like, hey, I've been following you on LinkedIn. I think you're doing something great. Like, let's talk. And that's where I got to today. And that's just by, again, investing in those relationships and creating these opportunities for yourself through learning and development. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. So what role does faith play in your business life?
In my business life, I think that in business, I think faith plays a very large part in all aspects of my life. But when it comes to business, it's believing in a power greater than yourself and knowing that there's something bigger than you looking out for you. So with business, and it's like the way that it happens is the way it's meant to be happening, even though as human beings, we try to have this like control mechanism, like I need things to go the way, like I suffer from that a lot. It's like, being in sales, especially, things might not be going your way. Like you might be having a slow quarter. You might not, technically be hitting quota, but it's like if you're doing the things with the right motives, the positive mindset, taking every opportunity as a learning lesson and, putting that faith in something bigger than yourself, it will work out the way it's supposed to. So it kind of a lot of stress. Because you're not just like, it's not going my way. And it's like, it's not your way. It's a greater power's way, and all you have to do is to be the best conduit of that messaging and of that positivity, like that positive flow and mindset of being open, honest, and willing. And then, anything that's supposed to happen will happen the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Well said. I love that. I fully believe in that. And I've seen evidence in my own life how God has moved me from place to place and journey to journey, even when, and most importantly, it takes faith when the road is not clear, the path is not exactly what you thought, and maybe things don't appear to be going your way, but I believe that God is always conspiring to work everything out for our good, right? Even when it doesn't feel good at the moment, you have to kind of trust the process and have faith in that. So let me ask you, who's had the greatest impact on you professionally and why?
Yeah. I would say professionally. So his name is Richmond Green. He is the COO and partner of Gusto Fresh Bowls and Wraps. That was my first. Like I had sales jobs. I was slinging dumpsters at Rubicon. Like I was doing stuff, but when I was trying to find a career in a company to get behind, he took a chance on me as their first it was like a store marketing coordinator. So it was very Chick-fil-A. He came from Chick-fil-A, so it's a very Chick-fil-A style role, very community oriented. And throughout my time at Gusto, like no matter what I was going to do personally, professionally, I always knew that I can rely on Richmond not only for guidance, but also just like growth opportunities and things, learning lessons. And the way that he approaches leadership is just it's just one of a kind because he just has that servant's heart. But then he also gives you those opportunities to grow. And then if things don't work out, you reiterate. Like it's not like you failed. It's always like, let's just do it better next time. Progress, not perfection. So that also gave me this whole realm of being in brand marketing for a growing fast casual chain based here in Atlanta. And then in my role now, I take a lot of what I learned from Gusto, like in the way that I approach leaders that I want to partner with. And also I kind of look for leaders that remind me of him.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
he's just a phenomenal human. And yeah, like it makes me emotional thinking about like how he was there for me and he made me feel heard in so many instances during my time. So it's like that kind of leader that, you don't leave jobs, you leave like leaders, but in that regard, it was kind of like it's like, I always wish I could go back and work for Richmond. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like, I had to like make a life change and move to California. But at the time, like that entire spend, he has helped me be the person that I am today professionally. And
Sure. And it sounds like he had a lot of faith in you. And that, goes back to the question prior about faith, that it also is often someone having faith in you. And in turn, as a leader, you having faith in others. And that's really what makes the world go round. Let me jump on to the next question here with you. Tell me about a company you admire and why do you admire them?
oh, um, there's so many, but one that I've come across recently is Sun Holdings. So they are one of the largest franchise groups in the United States, 30,000 employees. They a bunch of different brands, but something that I admire from them is that no matter if the brands they own, the brands they franchise, like if they're franchisee, they treat their people with such love and respect. And it's not that weird, like we're family, like we're all loving. Like it's creating opportunities for people to grow from within and also, celebrating the wins and the losses. And I think that's really important for an enterprise level franchise group to really do because it shows the smaller ones or the bigger ones that like there is a right way to treat your people and there's a right way to invest in your people. And also the VP of Human Resources, Laura, is incredible. Her and she's one of my mentors, and just learning more about that organization, how they operate, and how she uses like they have 14 VPs of HR underneath her VP. So it's like she's like they're all my like they're it's like having 14 kids but at the same time it's like you have to treat them all equally with respect. You have to respect the respect they have for their brands. And then you also have to make sure that they all feel taken care of. And like by investing time and energy and money into those resources for them, it helps them sustain this immense growth that they've been doing for such a long time. So
Sure, sure. And you,
workings of like these large brands, and like it's all because it's franchised and owned. So it's very interesting. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And you mentioned wins and losses. Let's kind of dig a little deeper on maybe a little heavier topic, but tell me about a time that you overcame adversity. What did you learn from it?
I'll keep it short because I can go on and on about this subject. I talk about it on my LinkedIn, but so I'm a survivor of domestic assault. I was in a very abusive relationship that took over pretty much all aspects of my life. um, and through maintaining relationships with people who call me out, but like when I was being a little bit rough, but then also providing me opportunities to get better and to like be there for me, I was able to like I'm sober, which is like probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. I am a way better like friend, partner, daughter, coworker, employee. But a lot of people think of addiction as this like really terrible sordid thing, but the recovery process is such a growth. Like I say growth a lot, but it's like you learn so much about yourself and like how our motives play such a large part in everything in our egos. So when the more that I go through recovery, I'm going to be at 10 months in a few days. It's like the ability to reframe your mind and to hold yourself accountable and to be also hold other people accountable in an empathetic way has been life changing. And it honestly saved my life because this time last year I was in the psych ward because I was ready to die. And this year I'm able to look forward to the new year with such like hope and admiration and love in my heart. And it's just an incredible thing to think about, like my journey, like even 2 years ago, where I was
Sure.
like in a terrible place. But now I can see myself like, now I'm on a podcast for the first time and like I'm in a job that I really love. Like it fuels my fire. And, through adversity, we learn like when we go through these rough patches, what we have to really realize is that God is teaching us what we can handle. And then he's also but we have to be able to see towards the light that he's giving us and go down that path. Because a lot of us get sucked into it. But if you see the little gems, the people, the stones he's placed in your way towards that better way of life, um, there's only so much waiting for you at the other side of the rainbow. So
Yeah. That's a beautiful story of redemption and transformation. And I think it's very inspiring to hear your journey and how the beginning doesn't have to be where it ends, that there can be a new beginning and a new path and a second chance. And what would you say to someone that is currently, and this is off script a little bit, I want to lean into what you just said because
yeah.
I know for a fact that there are a lot of people that struggle with addiction and they struggle with mental health and anxiety and depression, and they walk around wearing a mask like everything is just perfect, and they don't really let people in on the inside. But what message would you say to someone who's maybe walking that journey in silence and suffering? What would you say to them to encourage them?
Silence kills. It kills us. And it's hard to be open about it just because, people still see addiction again as a sordid subject. Like a lot of people that I know in my personal life are like, don't talk about it. Like, just pretend. But for me, it's like me sharing openly and honestly and being like, there is a better way and I'm here for you if you are struggling. That opens so many doors for people because they see that light in the darkness. They see those glints of hope because they see that someone who has been through it is like at least trying to do better every day. And that's what inspires people to take that next step in their journey towards recovery. So for me, it's like if you, from like, I have seen people on LinkedIn who have shared their sobriety stories. Like my first sponsor, we worked together, but then she also posted about her sober, and then she was my first sponsor back when I lived in the Bay, and that changed my life because, you know, I didn't have to hide like what I was through because, again, as I said, silence kills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I could totally
you don't
understand that. And
don't have to suffer alone. There's so many of
yeah.
us like out here just trying to do better and to be better and to treat others better. And it's like the more that we talk to one another, like it doesn't have to be that weird thing we see in movies. Like it's not all intense. It's just like, I see you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I love you. I'm always here for you. And I think when people see that, they reach out and they're like, I'm struggling with this. And that's
Sure.
it's to, at least you're being honest with yourself when you reach out to people. So
Exactly. No, amen to that. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's going to help encourage a lot of people. On a lighter note, what's a fun fact about Allie Harrison that a lot of people may not know about?
a lot of a fun fact that people don't know. I'm so honest. I have to like think about this. Um, Fun fact. So, like I lived in Singapore for around 3 or 4 years growing up. So it was like in my formative years, then we moved to the States. What's fun about that is like spending your years, like those like early childhood years internationally. I lived in Singapore, so melting pot of the Southeast. You have all these expats, you have business people, all this good stuff. It it gave me a perspective that I think a lot of people, especially growing up in the suburb of Atlanta, as a Black person, like as a Black woman, like I came into a lot of prejudice and racism. But having had those like opportunities to travel, my parents were very, very good about that, exposing me to different cultures and different people. Um, Nowadays I see that everyone is just a human being and like and it like in human nature, human kindness and empathy is not skin deep. It is in your true core. And I'm able to see that in so many different types of people. So in this world of like everyone's like freaking out, I'm like, well, maybe that person's just terrible. Like it doesn't matter what by whatever they label themselves as, or if they're Black or white or whatever. It's like for me, I see humans as human beings, and I think that's just really fun to have grown up with that perspective in Southeast,
Yeah.
where I called a lot of slurs as a kid, and then for me, I was just like, they're just mean. Like I was never like. But I also know the difference between prejudice and racism too, because like you can tell. So it's fun when people are like, you're woke. I'm like, no, I'm just. I grew up traveling a lot and exposed. So I just have a lot of affinity and respect for different cultures and different types of people.
Sure.
And it's helped make me, I guess, like I just like to like I love talking about different stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
That's
Well,
I kind of rambled on. It's just
no, that's okay.
political, but it's just like for that, it's like I think that's
That,
fun. Singapore, a lot of people think of it as this really strict city, equatorial city state, but it's like this phenomenal place where
yeah.
I just was exposed to just so many different types of people, so many different things, and then traveled a lot too. So when I moved back to the States, I was always just like, what's wrong with it?
Right.
I
And,
know
and
you
you know,
human.
Yeah, Allie, I think that's really the goal of this podcast. What you're underscoring is to show the humanity of everyone and to dispel myths or break down walls or even stereotypes. And I want people to understand we're more alike than we all realize. And that's what I'm learning through the episodes that I've recorded so far is that, we're all having challenges in some degree. We're all grateful for certain things. We've all had, adversity in our life. There's things that we celebrate, but we're far more alike than we are different. And I think we're also going to build a tighter knit community out there by taking the time. And I love the way Chick-fil-A says this. They train their employees to learn the story of their customer. They even train on, there's a video called Every Life Has a Story. And they want you to see the world through the eyes of, you never know what the person in front of you going up to the counter, maybe it's a rude customer, maybe they're short, maybe they look like they're having a bad day. You don't know what they're struggling with. And so sometimes hurt people, as they say. And I think the more we can take time to be more empathetic, like you just mentioned, you said empathy is a really strong quality. And that authenticity to be free to just be who we are. and your multicultural experiences and seeing the world, I think, are invaluable. We're actually going over to Japan in March to take a family vacation. Never been there before, and excited to see their culture. And it's a beautiful thing. We're in at the time of this podcast recording, we're currently living in Bradenton, Florida, because my son Aaron is playing soccer for IMG Academy, and that is an academy that have athletes from around the world that come here, top athletes in their respective sports. So I think that, we've seen our own growth in his friendships and different cultures and people from all over. And it's a beautiful thing. It's like Baskin Robbins. You don't just want vanilla or chocolate. Let's have, 31 flavors and it just makes the world more beautiful. So, how much time do you get to devote in a daily basis to unwinding? And what do you like to do? What does Allie do to kind of get away from it all?
Um, I'm such a weirdo, but like, so my boyfriend's gonna watch this and he's gonna be like, "Oh God," but I love watching Korean dramas. It's like that's like the start of my evening. It's like a Korean drama or a Christmas romantic comedy, and it's any time of year. Like Christmas is a year round. The spirit is year round for me because I think it's like when everyone seems to be more giving and open and like familiar
Sure.
and warm. So I like to kind of keep that energy 24/7, 365. But so unwinding for me, towards the end of the day, I take it's thundering outside, so my baby Stella Rose is like freaking out. But usually we go for a car ride to Dunkin' Donuts. We get a latte, iced latte. I love to drive. I always try to drop off. I write handwritten letters to potential partners, so I drop them off at the post office. Like that's a good way to like uncap the day. And then I go to a meeting, and then get home, make dinner, and watch a Korean drama, and just like disconnect because I also think that watching things that are international or in a different language gets you outside of your head because you're like so focused on the subtitles and like
Sure.
the different cues that you're not even thinking about anything else. And I usually that's the time where like if I don't answer the phone or texting, it's because I'm watching like some either international romantic comedy, usually Christmas themed because Europe has amazing ones. It's always just so beautiful, or Korean.
Mm.
Yeah. Drama. Yeah.
Awesome. And what's your favorite? Just got a quick answer. What's your favorite Christmas movie of all time? What's the best Christmas movie? You got to pick one. You can only take one on an island with you. What are you taking? You have to watch it over and over again.
No. Um, Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. That's a nice.
I can watch that any Christmas movie, like any day out of the year, any year. It's just such a, I don't know. It's like just Jim Carrey. He's so goofy, but then it's like the way that they incorporate social stuff and then like the dot, like it's just, I think that's probably one of the most well-made movies. It's
Yeah.
not Oscar winning, I don't think, but it's an all-time fave. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Allie, as we wrap up here, we're on question number 10. What is your why and what drives you? What drives your passion?
What is my why? My why is to make someone smile every day. Because for so long I couldn't even make myself smile. I couldn't even feel some type of, I couldn't find any semblance of love within self-love within myself. So nowadays what I do is like I learn the more that I love myself, the more able I am to give genuine and authentic love to others. And, that's everything from giving $1 to someone at the Wendy's drive through because their jobs are hard. I'm sorry if your salty caramel frosted, like frosty is like wrong. Like give them a break. Like they're 18, like trying to do their bit. But when they smile, it's like that you made their day, even or if you just like you joke with the person at your Costco checkout or your Sam's Club, it's just like those things of making people feel love and like making them remind themselves that they are loved and that there's things for them, like things about them that are meant to be loved. That's what kind of fueled me. And then that also kind of flows into my LinkedIn. People are always like, why do you do what you do on LinkedIn? You're just posting about this herd hive. I'm like, because for me, it's like highlighting these brands that are doing things that are incredibly special for their people and the leaders behind it And, showing that there's folks out there who are investing time and energy to make sure these hourly workers, or even just people in general, are having better experiences in all aspects of their life. And yeah, so it's a beautiful thing to see that, people resonate with it a little bit. I don't know. I got a really good compliment yesterday and I was like, I had no idea. I thought I was just posting to post, but I just think it's really fun and I get to nerd out and learn more about brands that I had no idea were doing such cool things. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. And I love that's a beautiful thing to make the world smile is your goal, and to help people feel a little bit better about themselves, maybe bring some light into their world. Because again, like we said earlier, you never know what someone's dealing with. Allie, thank you so much for being on the Quick Bite podcast. Tune in to the next episode as we talk about leadership insights, business insights, and 10 questions. And Allie, thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Quick Bite Podcast is proud to shine a spotlight on Giving Kitchen, an incredible nonprofit serving the food service community in times of crisis. From unexpected medical emergencies to natural disasters, Giving Kitchen steps in when life takes an unexpected turn. To learn how you can help support those who serve us every day, visit givingkitchen.org. And while you're at it, subscribe to the Quick Bite Podcast, where leadership meets heart, and join us in making a difference, one episode at a time. Quick Bite Podcast. Bite-sized conversations, big-time impact.